Call this meeting to order for July 1st, 2025. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Carol Wilbur.
Here.
Paula Lee.
Here.
Jim Shakes.
Here.
Will Tate.
Here.
David Kyle. Bob McAfee.
Here.
Anita Francis.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here.
Will you stand with me in the Pledge of Allegiance and followed by the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, as we begin this session of the Board of Alderman of the City of Carl Junction on Independence Day week, we celebrate the freedoms we enjoy as Americans. We give thanks for the founding of our nation and the courage of those who fought for our independence. May we, as leaders in this community, strive to uphold the principles of liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Number 3 is approve the agenda. Any changes, comments, or questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion to approve the agenda by Roger Spencer, second by Holly Levine. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative and 1 absent. Consent agenda. Any questions or comments there? Or changes?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Holly Levine, second by Roger Spencer. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative, 1 absent. Number 5, public forum. Anyone wishing to come forward to speak to public forum? Second call. Anyone wishing to speak during public forum? If not, we'll move on. Number 6, ordinances. A, ordinance approving a new service contract with Village of Airport Drive.
This is our sewer service contract that we process. Excuse me.
Make a motion, we put it on reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer to read the ordinance by title only, second by Walter Hayes. Will the clerk read the title?
An ordinance approving a new service contract between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the village of Airport Drive, Missouri, replacing the original service contract between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and village of Airport Drive, Missouri, dated December 6, 1989, including all addenda to that contract and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said service contract for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is our service contract with Airport Drive, like the title said, for the sewer processing. This has been several months worth of work between our engineers, Airport Drive's engineers, Mr. Talley, the village's legal counsel, myself, village clerk. There's been a lot of effort into redoing it. The old one just didn't cover today's standards for sewer. That was the biggest thing on it. There are some changes in there that the village is going to have to start doing. One of them is that they're going to have to start testing. As our testing requirements have increased, they've never had to do any. So it is mandatory that they do testing on their effluent also. So just bringing them up to the same standards, allowing them, there was a small flow increase, not much, but it also represents the correct sewer rates that should be billed at also. If Mr. Talley has anything on it?
Understand that I came across an email along the way from our engineers that stressed we need to keep the attorneys out of this until the last possible time. And that's what was done. I did look it over one change that I did have to do is that you should be aware of, is all these years, we've had this contract, what is it, 1989, we've had this contract with Airport Drive, and the ultimate decision maker in the event of a dispute was arbitration, mandatory arbitration. That will no longer be the case. Arbitration is an option, mediation is the first option, but if all of that fails, litigation, taking it to court, is now on the table. And I just didn't want that to happen without you being aware of it. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but it is in fact in this contract. It was not an available option under the original contract.
Since 1989, have we ever had such a dispute?
Excuse me?
Since 1989, has anything like that ever came up?
Well, we've never litigated or had arbitration, but that doesn't mean there haven't been disputes. There have been lots of disputes.
Any that went to mediation?
Not mediation, but one of the things is that mandatory arbitration was hanging over the head, helps solve some disputes. That's no longer there. So you just need to be aware of that. We didn't find a reasonable option or any way that we could insist upon that moving forward. But it is a change.
Any other questions?
I have one. Sometime back when they put that car wash in, you were worried about all the chemicals that came through that. Does this cover any problems that would arise from that?
Yes, those should be able to be caught in the testing that they have to do now. And every time I've asked since, the biggest one was phosphorus. So I wanted to make sure they're not using some type of a soap that has phosphorus in it, and they are not, so.
Have we made any changes to the amount of water they can put through the system?
Just went up just a slight amount. The one that did go up was not, their peak is, they have 2 flows in there, a daily flow and then their peak flow. Both of them went up by probably less than 10%.
Any other questions?
Just a quick question, because it may well be here and I just don't see it. Do we have an end date, or is just the starting effective date?
It is a year-to-year thing. We go through every year when we do the rates. If we have an increase in the rates, that's when we do it again. Because then we'll do an addenda, as in past, to change those dollar amounts in the contract.
Can I add to that? We have had many addendas. I don't know, Walter, you were probably on the council when we used to come annually almost with addenda number 12, addenda number 13 or 14, where we changed the rates. But I don't think, Steve, there's actually an end date to this agreement. It just continues on.
Okay. That was the real question. So the rates are basically something we look at yearly, but the contract itself is really open-ended.
As I understand.
Okay.
But at that time, yearly, when we look at the rates, we could reopen the whole thing if we wanted to.
Yes.
We don't want to, but if we wanted to.
But this time, it won't end in arbitration, it'll end in the courts. And you know what that is.
So, not going to be reopened anytime soon.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a second motion.
I make a motion to put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Walter Hayes, put it on second reading by title only. Second by Roger Spencer. Will the clerk read the title, please?
An ordinance approving a new service contract between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the village of Airport Drive, Missouri, replacing the original service contract between the
Need a motion to vote on this ordinance?
Make a motion to put it on final passage.
Second.
Motion to put this on final passage by Walter Hayes, second by Carol Wolford. This is a hand vote to go to roll call. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, 1 absent. Please vote. Looks like 7 yeses. The ordinance passes. Ordinance number,
2518.
thank you. Six B, ordinance approving an agreement with R.E. Smith Construction Company to construct the 2025 storm damage repairs to city facilities.
Motion we put this ordinance on first reading?
Second.
Motion to put this on first reading by title only by Holly Levine, second by Bob McAfee. Will the clerk read the title, please?
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and R.E. Smith Construction Company to construct the 2025 storm damage repairs to city facilities for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri in accordance with the conditions of the contract document, in accordance with the conditions of the contract documents for the sum of $180,411, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any questions, council?
Is this for the removal of the
This,
damaged ones?
that's part of it. You will be getting at the next meeting, change order number 1, which will take out the repair of the solar arrays and replace it with the removal of the solar arrays.
Yeah, the good ones though, we're gonna put somewhere else, right?
Down in Public Works, there's 2 arrays down there that will fix some broken ones that have happened over the years. Rocks thrown, mowers, that type of thing. That's what we'll do with the good ones.
I have a question. Does our insurance pay for most of this?
Yes, I submit this to our insurance. The event had a $1,000 deductible for the whole event, so when they go through there, and if it meets with their assessment on it, we'll get reimbursed.
Any other questions or comments, council?
Make a motion to put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Walter Hayes to put this on second reading by title only, second by Holly Levine. Will the clerk read the title, please?
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and R.E. Smith Construction Company to construct the 2025 storm damage repairs to city facilities for the city of Carl Junction, Missouri in accordance with the conditions of the contract documents for the sum of $180,411, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor and the city administrator to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Questions or comments, council?
Motion to put this ordinance on final passage by title?
Second.
This second reading, or is this
Final passage.
final passage? Okay. Motion by Holly Levine to put this on final passage. Did I get a second?
Seconded.
Anita Francis seconded. This is a hand vote to go to a roll call. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, 1 absent. Seven yeses, 1 absent. 6C, ordinance concerning the impeachment of Michael Moss, mayor.
Motion to put this ordinance on first reading by title only?
Second.
Motion by Holly Devine to put this on first reading by title only, second by Walter Hayes. Will the clerk read the title, please?
An ordinance concerning the impeachment of Michael Moss, mayor of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any questions or comments, council?
Motion to put on second reading by title.
Second.
Second, motion by Holly Levine to put it on second reading by title only. Second by Carol Wolford. Will the clerk read the title for the second time, please?
An ordinance concerning the impeachment of Michael Moss, mayor of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Questions or comments, council?
I have a question for our attorney on this, if I could.
I think we need to set a tentative date within that ordinance before it's passed. I know that we'll have to arrange maybe a continuance depending on when people can be there. I talked to Mr. Fleischaker, so but I think
That's the part that I was going to ask, if we've had conversations, if we had kind of a tentative date in mind, or will we do better to wait to do final passage on this and to give time to set that sort of stuff up?
you know, then you said you're not I guess to kind of keep feet to the fire, if we set a date 30 days out, then we'll talk about, because we'll have to arrange times that the council's all available, witnesses, and then both the mayor and his attorney are available. And then also location, I think, was in there, and maybe a time. So I don't know if this is going to, obviously it can be moved from here if it needs to be. But I think we just need to put a date in for now, and then we can come back and get a different date if we need to. So.
Any other questions, council?
Should it be done in a regular meeting or in a separate meeting?
Probably a separate meeting. I think it'd be too much time for a regular meeting.
Are you wanting us to do that right now, or?
Well, there are blanks in the ordinance, so I think it's best if we set a time date right now. It's to fulfill what's in the ordinance, and then if we need to continue that, we can come back to you all and continue it at a different time.
August 4th is the first full week of August. It is Monday, August 4th, is the first full week.
So we'd have a regular meeting on the 5th. No matter what other would work that week.
That's fine for now. I know that Ms. Fleischer may have some conflicts at the beginning of that month, but that way it at least satisfies that, then we can discuss and maybe get a different date back to you if we need to change that. I think it's set at 6:30 in here. Is that doable?
So for now, we'd say the 4th.
There's going to be held here.
And
Any other
then,
questions?
so just so people are aware, what we are voting on tonight is just to hold the hearing.
Correct. It's just to proceed, push the articles forward and advise what the articles are, and then that's what the hearing will be based on. So they have an idea of what the charges are, and then what we go from there. So it's not, yeah, that's all it is at this point.
So I see the other blanks in here about the mayor's deadline on replies, and do we need to do that tonight, or?
I think we can come back to you if we're not getting discovery between the two of us. We can come back and say that we're not doing that. I think both parties can bring that forward if they need to. Okay. I think we'll be able to work it out. Any other questions?
Make a motion, put it on final passage then.
Second.
Motion to put this on final passage by Walter Hayes, second by James Shanks. This is a hand vote to go to a roll call vote. Those all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative, 1 absent. Seven yeses, 1 absent. Ordinance number
25.
Number 7 is reports. Administration report.
I was a little premature Friday when I did this. It said all vehicles have been received. They started over today, so I put it in there. It's supposed to deliver today. 2 vehicles. Then they had a problem with one of them, and they had to go back to get it rectified. And then, so the only ones outstanding are the police department vehicles.
And then, so what's the timeline on that?
As soon as they're done at the outfitter, getting everything put together.
Is this a new update on the road district, or is this the same?
Yes, that is new.
Okay.
Last week, they had, the commissioners had a meeting and a conversation, I guess, with the road district, and they are withholding 25%. They paid Joplin Special Road District the balance of that then, less that 25%. Municipalities, districts within that can then send in a request for funds to the county for their road and bridge projects, and they'll be reimbursed that way. I sent them an email to the commissioners and the auditor. Auditor Denise, is she the auditor? I forget. Anyway, the auditor, I think. Treasurer. Yeah, the treasurer. That they do the exact same thing for Carl Junction Special Road District. And they were putting the numbers together so that they could do that also with them. And that way, all we have to do is submit it to the county for both of those 2 separate requests, and we'll get reimbursed.
Are we doing an overlay project
Yes,
this
we
summer?
are.
And when do we expect that to start? Any?
Jay, when do you think we're going to do our overlay?
Probably October.
October, okay.
Anything else on the city administration report? Questions?
On Country Club Park, does he know when he's going to get out to finish that?
As soon as it dries up.
I'd like to.
Oh, okay.
Council.
Because we would-
Pictures showing that my job's completed and I haven't been paid. So could I step to the podium and address the council?
What's the pleasure of the council? I have no problem with it. Come on ahead.
So I have, Mr. Lawver had me start the job. I did the job. I put dirt on the field, got it all ready to hydroseed. Then it rained. Then Schuber Mitchell's pond overflowed. There was fish in the field that I had just fixed from the overflow of Schuber Mitchell's pond. I went ahead and fixed it. So then I go fix it, and then Mr. Lawver says, well, I hydroseeded it, and he saw the pictures of it that the job was completed. And now it's overflowed again, and now Schuber Mitchell has pumped half of the pond water right out into the field that I just fixed, and now I would like to get paid because this is not my fault. It's an act of God, and Schuber Mitchell did not have the proper drainage, and now I'm the one that's kind of holding the bag here. So I'd like to get paid. It's been 2 months, and then I went to go fix it again, and they pumped the pond out, and then sorry, Jay's guys went with the lawnmower and rutted up the whole entire field. So it's going to have to be all redone again. Most of it is. It's got 4-inch ruts in it from lawnmowers. And I've got all the pictures right here.
So my job was complete.
Okay, so respectfully, when you went out there to start your job and you saw that it was flooded and had fish in it and you knew that that was
Oh,
Schuber
that was
Mitchell's
before.
fault, so
That
why
was
didn't you go to the city, come to us and say
I did.
that we have a problem here and we need to get this taken care of with Schuber Mitchell and get this turned over to insurance or whatever's going on here?
Right there. I did. Did I, Steve?
Yeah, he did, and I
Thank
talked
you.
to Algier Martin about it, and Algier Martin was talking to the Schubert Mitchell engineers about it. It's part of that Brabrook Plaza plat that we've gotten, where they're doing away with that south one, enlarging the north one, and it was all part of that, and it was all part of the discussions back and forth with the engineers about the design of the pond and all of that. You know, and while they're doing all of that process, we got 30 inches of rain.
Okay, well, that is unfortunate that you didn't bring that information to us. Okay, I mean, sir, are you really saying that you hauled out 112,000 square feet of dirt to that field?
No.
Because that's what the bid
I hauled
was.
six loads, and that's what Mr. Lawver and I discussed. It just needed dirt up in that top corner.
Okay, the playing
That's
field is
what's-
it's 2.5 acres.
Yeah,
That
and
whole
I
thing
totally
needed to be-
smoothed that whole thing out and hydroseeded. I have the pictures right here that is totally 100% smooth.
I don't believe that that whole playing field, the whole 2.5 acres was done.
Steve, you've gone out and seen it.
I've gone out to the park several times. I've gone out there when they've had soccer practice, when
Okay.
there hasn't been anything going on. The field is not in any better condition than it was.
Oh, it's all messed up now because the water's washed everything off. But I did my job before that.
The bid was for 112,000 square feet of dirt to be hauled in at a 2 to 3 inch level across the field. I do not believe that you brought anywhere near that amount
I
of
brought
dirt in.
6 loads of dirt, and that's
how
what
many square feet is
Mr.
one load of
Lawver,
dirt?
your city administrator, told me that 5 or 6 loads of dirt would be plenty. Is that true?
So the bid wasn't for 112,500 square feet of dirt. The 112,500 was
Is the area of the
to be
land.
covered.
Yes.
2 to 3
It was
inches.
it was not a volume measurement, it was an area measurement, two different things.
Okay, well, it's still more dirt than was out there because the whole field is just pits.
Oh, it's
ponds,
all
it's floods.
washed out now.
It's nothing.
It's terrible.
The spots where it is anything is just weeds.
Yep.
So, I mean,
And that is all from the pond washing that dirty pond water, and it washed all that dirt and all that seed right on down.
well, my jaw is on the floor right now because I don't understand how, I mean, you want us to pay you $25,000 for this job that I don't feel was done.
It was done. Schuber Mitchell's pond washed it all away. That is not my fault. Schuber Mitchell did not have
How did you get the water,
drainage.
when you came for the first time and
Okay.
you said it was totally flooded, how did you take care of that?
You had to let it dry. You can't get on it. And then I Harley raked the whole thing again. I've done that field 3 separate times on my dime.
I'm just having a real hard time with this.
It's all gonna have to be all refixed now. There's 4-inch ruts in it. All the water's washed it all off. Schuber Mitchell pumped half the pond right onto the field that I just fixed.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Once it dries out, how long would it take you to get it back into shape?
The first thing is the pond has to be
I
fixed.
understand that, but what I'm saying is, when it gets to where you can, how long would it take you?
3-4 days.
And what kind of equipment are you using?
Harley rake, it's gonna have to have a lot more dirt hauled in now. It's washed it all away. All that dirt, and I had that thing smooth. I have pictures. It's all 100%
On what date was it
done and
smooth?
smooth.
Because
May I
I've
see
gone
them
out there.
pictures, please?
Yep. Want me to bring them up?
Why don't you pass them down, please?
I will.
This is the water now after.
Is it fair to say until the pond is fixed that,
It'd be a waste of time.
unless it doesn't rain for 6 months?
Well, now they pumped half of it out. They probably pumped out 6-7 feet of it. They were mowing it right when the Schumer was pumping it out.
Oh, it does look good in that one.
You see the pictures where they were pulling the lawnmower around with a strap?
It got stuck?
Yeah.
That does look good.
So I've completed what I've been contracted to do, and it's not my fault that the pond's washed out several times. I've done the job three different times now. So now the pond's gonna have to be fixed.
So council, it's back to you. What all is your pleasure on this? You've looked at the pictures, you've heard the man's story.
Yeah, it's,
I'd like to wait till we can speak to Schubert Mitchell, if we can.
Steve, have you talked to Schubert Mitchell?
Yeah, I talked to them as soon as I found out they were pumping and it wasn't going into the pond like they said it was supposed to, which Kurt had arranged with them to do. Called Jay and said, shut the pumps off right away so that no more water can get out there until they can get hoses to it. Talked to their engineer, Owen, and we are probably the weather. I mean, we've got most of the information. I don't have a final letter from the engineers yet on approval of the plat to be able to get the plat to planning and zoning and then to you guys. You know, so there's probably 90, 120 days before final plat would be approved and, you know, before they can actually start dirt work. So it would be this fall before they could start anything on it.
I'm saying I would like to speak with them. I'd like to talk to them and see what's going on.
I don't see how that impacts us proceeding with the pavement, though. The pictures show that the work was done. You can see that.
I feel like a small area was done. I don't know. I would like to not make a decision on this right now until we can get all of the information. I don't think it's fair that this information was withheld from us. You know, we don't know what's going on over here. We have questions about the work. We don't have all the information.
I have the pictures right here when the work was completed. I've done it 3 separate times. It's
I
been
understand your
almost 2
pictures.
months.
I've seen your pictures of the area,
I have over
but the whole field is
$10,000
2.5
in this, and you
acres.
guys are withholding my money. Am I just supposed to sit on it then? I'm a small business. I can't just say, okay, I'll wait on 25 grand. I put my own money in the seed, the hydro seed, the work, the help, hauling the dirt in. It's not my fault Schubert and Mitchell's pond overflowed and there's fish in the field. That's not my fault. I did my job. Steve saw that I did my job.
I think we still have questions about the project, so I would like to wait to make a decision on this until we have the complete picture. But somebody else can feel free to give their input.
Okay.
I make the motion, we go ahead and pay him, and we deal with Schubert Mitchell and the other issues separately.
I don't have any problem
I have a motion on the floor by Walter Hayes that we go ahead and pay the man.
Thank you.
A second by Roger Spencer. All those in favor signify.
I think it's outrageous to pay for work that I don't believe has been properly done, and we're using federal funds to pay for this. So I don't think that's right.
Take it up with Schuber.
I will, thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. I'm calling for the vote. All those in favor of paying this gentleman, please signify by raising your right hand. 3, 4, 5. All those against? One against. So, Steve, I think the council spoke and is directing you to pay him.
Yes, sir.
I think in the future, it may be advisable for us, I mean, when we have this kind of stuff done, you know, we've really got two choices. We either say the city administrator saw the work and we believe his assessment and that's going to be the end of it, or we need to go out and look, because I understand it's not fair. I mean, you know, a tornado could have hit that field, right? I mean, anything could happen, and any work you had done before would just be erased. And as you've said, and now it's even worse, right? So, which the soccer field is not playable. I think we all are disappointed by that. But I
It
think,
seems to me if that were the case, if there were some sort of catastrophe, then that would go to insurance. You know, there would be some recourse there.
yeah,
The recourse may be with Schubert Mitchell, but that doesn't impact what we owe the man.
Insurance
Yeah.
doesn't cover your work.
The damage was already done by the time I went out and looked and took pictures.
I think the question's been answered. The council voted, and I think we need to move on. Anything else, Steve, on your report? Next report in front of me is the police department report. Mark, Chief, do you have anything to add or talk about?
The only thing on the child ID kit, did go through them, they've got the graphics done on it. We included the city's logo, police department logo. I went out and contacted Shane at 360 Auto to make sure he was still okay with sponsoring those, and he is, and so we had put sponsored by 360 Auto on those, and they're currently in production.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that.
Any other questions of the chief?
Oh, and then if you want to think of a date that you want to do that for maybe a Thursday evening.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how long it takes to get it done, and then
Okay.
as soon as I get the word that they're in, then we'll get a date done.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Next report in front of me is the Public Works report. Jay, you have anything to discuss or talk about in this report? Council, you have any questions of Jay?
Jay, as you come in off of 171 on Pinnell, there's a sign laying down. What is that? Is it a speed limit sign or what?
State sign, I don't know what it says.
Speed limit. Did we knock it down or,
I think their motor knocked it down.
okay. So was MoDOT did it then?
Yeah, they was in town yesterday. I'm surprised I didn't see it. Picked it up.
Well, I know it's been laying there for a long time. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you.
want to make one comment real quick for Jay. Got a phone call from a gentleman named Steve Bell, who you did some ditch work for him in front of his house, and he thanked me once again and wanted me to make sure that you knew that he really appreciated you and you did a great job and you explained everything to him perfectly, and his living room is dry now and he's no longer going to sue us for $50 million. So Jay, we owe you, buddy. Good job.
Also, Jay, I see you've been cleaning out culverts all over town. I appreciate it, because that was something that concerned me with all the rain we've got and overflows and stuff. I do appreciate that. Anything else of Jay in his report? Next report in front of me is the building inspector report. Any questions or comments? I think they would have to be directed towards Steve, since the building inspector's not here. Anything further on that report? Moving on. Committee reports. Budget and Finance, Walter Hayes, Chair.
I'd like to see if we could maybe do a budget committee meeting, say 6 o'clock before the next meeting, if that were possible. It'd be what, the 15th, I believe?
Okay, Walter, you got Holly on that, James Shanks, Dr. Pyle, and Karma Wright on the budget and finance, so you need to, at least one, well, two people aren't here, you need to let them know that we're gonna do that. Code and nuisance, Carol Wolford, Chair.
I don't have anything right now. I will later, in
Okay.
probably a month.
Human resources, Roger Spencer, Chair, anything?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Public facility and planning, Dr. Pyle is absent. Holly, you're next in line, do you have anything on public facility and planning?
No, not at this time.
Back to you again, economic development, Holly, your chair.
No, nothing at this evening. Thank
Okay.
you.
Number 9, new business. Anita,
No, sir.
Holly,
I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July this week. Hope everybody has a safe holiday. We've got a lot of good community activities going on this week. Thursday evening, starting at 4 p.m. is the farmers market. We're going to have free ice cream. 6:30 to 8 at the Well Church. They're going to have decorating for the 4th of July parade, so the kids can bring their scooters, their bikes, and decorate those free of charge. And then the parade, of course, is Friday, 4th of July at 10 a.m. If the kids want to be in the parade, there's no cost, and everybody is welcome to line up. Lineup's like 8:30 to 9 a.m. on Broadway, right in between the schools. Okay, and that's all I have.
what did I jump? I said new business, didn't I? I'll go back to unfinished business. Bob, you got any new business?
No, sir.
Roger?
No, sir.
Walter? Carol?
No, sir.
James, you got any new business?
Not today, sir.
Steve?
No, sir.
Crystal? Elena? Mr. Talley? Chief? This is new business. Jay?
We'll get started on the water line out there next week.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Back up. Now we need to go to unfinished business. James?
None.
Carol?
No, sir.
Walter?
No, sir.
Roger?
Nothing.
Bob?
No.
Holly? Anita?
No.
Steve?
No, sir.
Crystal? Elena? Mr. Talley, old business. Chief? Old business. Jay?
No, sir.
That finishes up our agenda. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Holly Levine, second by Carol Wolford. All those in favor,